Captain America versus Godzilla. Can the shield stop the beast? Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the channel where we tackle the biggest what ifs in the superhero universe. Today, I've got a mind-blowing scenario for you. Imagine sitting at home, sipping your coffee, when suddenly, the ground starts shaking. You look out the window, and there he is, Godzilla, the king of monsters, wreaking havoc on your city. Buildings are toppling, chaos everywhere, and just when all hope seems lost, who steps up to the plate? None other than Captain America himself. So that begs the question, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an indestructible shield? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into this epic hypothetical showdown. All right, let's set the stage. Captain America versus Godzilla. Sounds crazy, right? But that's what we're all about here, exploring the wildest, most awesome matchups imaginable. Today, we're going to break down whether Cap's legendary shield could actually stand up against the massive might of Godzilla. We'll dive into the history, the feats, and the physics behind these two iconic figures. By the end of this video, we'll have a better idea of whether Cap's shield can stop the beast or if Godzilla will reign supreme. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Captain America's shield, the indestructible defense. First up, let's talk about the MVP of defensive weapons, Captain America's shield. So, Captain America's shield isn't just any old piece of metal. It was crafted during World War II by Howard Stark. Yep, Tony Stark's genius dad. The shield was an accidental creation when Stark was experimenting with vibranium, a rare and powerful metal from Wakanda. The result? A one-of-a-kind, vibranium steel alloy shield that's become an iconic symbol of justice and freedom. Composition and properties. Vibranium is known for its unique ability to absorb, store, and release large amounts of kinetic energy. This means that when Cap's shield is hit, it absorbs the impact without transferring that force to Cap himself. Bullets, explosions, punches from supervillains, you name it, the shield can handle it. Let's look at some of the shield's greatest hits, pun intended. Withstanding Thor's hammer. In the Avengers, Thor brings down Mjolnir on Cap's shield, resulting in a massive shockwave but leaving the shield unscathed. That's a god's hammer, folks. Absorbing Iron Man's blasts. In Captain America Civil War, Cap uses the shield to block and deflect energy blasts from Iron Man's suit, which are powerful enough to destroy tanks. Surviving explosions and impacts. The shield has endured massive explosions, falls from great heights, and hits from the Hulk, one of the strongest beings in the Marvel Universe. Pretty impressive, right? Godzilla, the king of monsters. Now let's shift gears to our colossal contender, Godzilla. Godzilla first stomped onto the screen in 1954 in Japan, serving as a metaphor for the destruction caused by nuclear weapons. Over the decades, he's become a global icon, embodying nature's wrath and often acting as an anti-hero or even a defender against other monstrous threats. Godzilla is massive, like ridiculously massive. Depending on the movie, his height ranges from about 164 feet, 50 meters, to 393 feet, 120 meters. As for weight, we're talking upwards of 90,000 tons. His sheer size means that every movement carries incredible destructive power. His skin is covered in thick scales that act like armor, making him nearly impervious to conventional weapons. Atomic breath. Godzilla's signature move is his atomic breath, a beam of intense radioactive energy capable of obliterating buildings, melting metal, and incinerating enemies. Regenerative healing factor. He can heal from wounds that would be fatal to other creatures, sometimes in moments. This makes him incredibly resilient in battle. Amphibious nature. Godzilla can thrive both on land and underwater, giving him strategic advantages over his foes. Godzilla has taken down some of the toughest monsters out there. King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, you name it. He's survived nukes, volcanic eruptions, and even black holes in some storylines. He's the ultimate apex predator. Theoretical showdown, size and scale. So, how does a super soldier stand up to a skyscraper-sized lizard? Let's break it down. David vs. Goliath scenario. Captain America is around 6 feet tall and weighs about 240 pounds. Godzilla? Hundreds of feet tall and tens of thousands of tons heavy. It's like pitting an ant against an elephant. Physical implications. Reach and mobility. Cap is incredibly agile, but can he even reach Godzilla to land a hit? Climbing Godzilla might be like scaling a moving mountain. Environmental impact. Godzilla's mere presence causes earthquakes and tsunamis. The shockwaves from his footsteps could knock Cap off his feet. Human limitations. Cap may be enhanced, but he's still human. There's only so much his body can handle. Shield defense mechanics. Protection. The shield could protect Cap from debris and maybe even minor attacks. Limitations. Against Godzilla's colossal strength, the shield might not be enough. And while the shield can absorb energy, Cap himself could still be crushed or affected by the impact forces. The shield versus atomic breath. Now, here's the big question. Can the shield withstand Godzilla's atomic breath? Understanding atomic breath. Godzilla's atomic breath is more than just fire. It's a concentrated blast of nuclear energy with immense heat and destructive capability. It can melt steel, destroy buildings, and annihilate other giant monsters. Shield's energy absorption. Previous energy absorption. The shield has absorbed energy from Thor's lightning and Iron Man's repulsors. It's designed to handle high-energy impacts. Heat and radiation. The atomic breath's heat might exceed anything the shield has faced before. Plus, radiation adds another layer of danger. Potential outcomes. Best case. The shield absorbs the initial blast and Cap survives, albeit maybe a bit singed. Worst case. The sheer power and prolonged exposure overwhelm the shield's capacity, and Cap gets caught in the devastation. The human factor. Even if the shield holds, Cap is still vulnerable to extreme heat and radiation. Not a good combo. Battle tactics and strategies. Don't count Cap out just yet. He's not one to go down without a fight. Captain America's combat skills. Master strategist. Cap is brilliant at assessing situations and coming up with plans on the fly. Experience with larger opponents. He's faced foes like Thanos and giants in the past. Possible strategies. Target weak spots. Cap could aim for Godzilla's eyes or inside his mouth when he opens for the atomic breath. Utilize the environment. Maybe lure Godzilla into a trap or use the surroundings to his advantage. Teamwork. If allies are around, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, they could combine forces. Evacuation focus. Cap might prioritize saving civilians over engaging directly. Godzilla's combat style. Brute force. Godzilla relies on overwhelming power and doesn't strategize. Predictable patterns. Cap could potentially anticipate Godzilla's moves and react accordingly. Scientific and fictional analysis. Let's get a little nerdy. Physics of the confrontation. Force and pressure. Godzilla's physical attacks would exert massive force, enough to create shockwaves and cause immense damage. Stress limits of vibranium. While nearly indestructible, the shield might have theoretical limits when faced with such colossal forces. Comic book logic versus real-world physics. Suspension of disbelief. In comics, characters often defy physics, like Cap surviving falls from great heights. Balance of fiction and science. While it's fun to analyze, sometimes we have to accept that superhero stories bend the rules. Previous crossovers and references. Has Cap ever faced anything like this? Marvel vs. Kaiju encounters. Godzilla in Marvel Comics. Fun fact, Marvel actually had a Godzilla comic series in the late 70s where he faced off against the Avengers and other heroes. Other giant monsters. Cap and the Avengers have battled massive creatures like Fin Fang Foom. Fan fiction and fan art. Community creations. Fans have imagined and illustrated epic battles between Cap and Godzilla, showcasing creative takes on how it might go down. Easter eggs and homages. Pop culture references. Marvel movies and comics often include nods to kaiju culture, acknowledging the influence of giant monster narratives. Audience perspectives. Let's see what the fandom thinks. Fan debates, forums and social media. Discussions abound about whether Cap could stand a chance. Some argue the shield's limits, others believe in Cap's ingenuity. Polls and surveys. Results often show a split. Heart says Cap, logic says Godzilla. Expert opinions. Writers and creators. Some creators suggest that while Cap is formidable, Godzilla's sheer scale tips the odds. Scientist takes. From a physics standpoint, experts highlight the improbability of Cap surviving direct encounters. Alternate views. Out-of-the-box ideas. Some fans propose scenarios where Cap doesn't defeat Godzilla, but finds a way to redirect or pacify him. Conclusion. Time to wrap this up. Summary of key points. Captain America's shield. Incredibly durable, absorbs energy, has withstood godly attacks. Godzilla's might. Massive size, destructive atomic breath, nearly invulnerable. Battle dynamics. Cap's strategic mind versus Godzilla's brute force. Human limitations versus monstrous power. Final verdict. After weighing all the factors, it's hard to see Cap coming out on top in a direct confrontation with Godzilla. The shield might hold for a while, but the combination of Godzilla's size, strength, and atomic breath is overwhelming. Cap's best bet would be to focus on evacuation and find a way to mitigate the damage rather than trying to defeat Godzilla outright. But hey, never underestimate the heart of a hero. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Captain America could find a way to stop Godzilla? Or is the King of Monsters just too much to handle? Drop your thoughts, theories, and battle strategies in the comments below. Let's get the debate going. Thanks for tuning in to this epic What If showdown. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Got a wild matchup you'd like me to explore next? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay heroic, stay curious, and keep imagining the impossible. Catch you later. Special thanks to all the comic book writers, artists, and filmmakers who bring these incredible characters to life. Shout out to the fan communities for their endless creativity and passion.